Hi viewers, Aijaz Qureshi here with today's episode of the Aijaz Qureshi Show. Today, it's a very interesting topic that you want to hear, and we deal with these things on almost every single moment of our life. We are communicating with each other, and how do we communicate in a peaceful way, in a non-violent way? That is our topic today, non-violent communication. That is a communication model for your needs and emotions and how it can make change in your life. That is very important because when we open our mouth, we portray ourselves. Other people judge us by the way we speak to each other, be it in person, we are talking to the people directly on one-on-one basis, or be it in any other electronic or written form that we communicate with each other. Today, our esteemed guest is Jeanette Nord. She is from Stockholm, Sweden, and she's an RN, registered nurse, and she's working on as a volunteer at trauma-informed care and neurosciences. She's a great person. I interacted with her, and she is so amazing. We'll definitely enjoy listening to her and learning from her about the nonviolent communication. Here comes Jeanette Nord. Let's welcome Jeanette to our show. Jeanette, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aijaz. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, first of all, to come on the show. It's really pleasure to see you here. And I wish I could understand. You have been posting so many comments and writing. I wish I could understand Swedish language so that I can really contribute and respond back. So what I do to be on safe side, I just put the like button, and then that means that yes, I have seen that, and then I have responded back here. All right. So let's talk about Jeanette. Who is Jeanette for our viewers who don't know you? I know lots of people in Sweden know you very well, and I have lots and lots of friends in Sweden. So they are very near and dear to my heart. So thank you so much. So let's go back and let's take a step back. Go back into the future. What memories you recall from your childhood, Jeanette?
Well, I was upbringing in a very harsh environment with my alcoholic mother and my stepmother and my father. So that's, I think, is why I choose this topic in life. I'm so
Oops.
sorry for this.
Okay. No worries. No worries.
So that's why I choose this kind of topic to work with, I think. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I have to make this like that. Thank you.
Okay. So what is a good memory from the childhood that you recall? There must be some good
Well,
memories.
I have lots of great memories. I have 3 sisters, and we have a lovely country house in the archipelago. Be in the summer, and my mother, she was a great, warm, funny person. So we have much of laugh during our upbringing.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So did the family life contributed to learn what you are doing today? Is that right?
Well, I had to somehow make myself as a teacher, because I didn't get it from my home. So I have always tried to learn more and more about everything. So I'm self-taught, except for my professional degrees and stuff. Yeah.
Self-taught. That's good. That's good. There is no replacement or substitute for the learning from experience. So that is really, really important for us. I think every one of us, education gave us something, but experience gives us more. That's my personal experience. So thank you so much for sharing that. So,
Yeah, thank you.
so nursing, going to the nursing college, how was that experience? I mean, did you ever think about that you have to deal with the trauma patients and some blood you will see around and things like that. Did you consider that?
Well, I have a very great education at Ersta Hospice, and they asked us if we had some experience from alcoholism or drug addicts or something. They recommend us to take um, that under consideration for more education. So I did so. I took the advice, and so I thought I made the check for that.
Awesome. That's
Uh,
good.
and I think also in my practice as a nurse, I used to work in the neurologic department, and I was very interested in those patients. Some of them who couldn't use their legs and arms, and still they had a bright mind and coping skills to deal with the situation. And I was amazed how some people have this resilience capability, coping strategies, and why some didn't. So that's where my reflection was at that part, uh, at that part of time. Yeah.
Good, good, very good.
Yeah.
Let me take a comment on the show. Sadia Qureshi from Abbottabad, which is a great city in Pakistan. She's saying Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum is a greeting, that peace be upon you. So that's the meaning of the Assalamu alaikum. Um, and she's saying, Uncle Ji, welcome to our honorable guest from Pakistan. So she's welcoming you to the show.
Ah,
Thank you. Thank you so
thank you.
much. Thank you. Good. So let's talk about the communication. As I mentioned earlier, there are different ways of communication. So what would you say? What are the means of communication that we communicate in our daily life?
I didn't understand the question.
So the way of communication that we communicate with each other, what are the various ways of communicating with people?
I think the mainstream are occupied at what they are going to answer in the communication
Hmm.
instead of listening uh, what the what your needs are in the conversation. And we tend to neglect about feelings and needs behind the conversation we have.
So you're saying that we need to understand that what is the need behind the communication. Unless we understand that, we cannot respond back.
Yeah, we tend to trigger each other emotions because we
Okay.
don't feel we are being heard.
Okay.
We need to feel that we are listening at.
Good. Good. Now here is one thing, Jeanette. I would say, if you want to communicate in Swedish language for our Swedish viewers, you can do that as well on the show. So if you
Oh,
want to, yeah, if you want to paraphrase the same thing what you just said into Swedish language, we can do that as well.
that's amazing. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. There is another gentleman extending greetings. This viewer, our brother is from Korea. He lives in Korea, and it's very late in the night over there. It's like almost 2 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
And he regularly watches my show saying Assalamu alaikum, which is another greeting. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much. And then saying, how are you, sir? I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. I'm brilliant as usual. Thank you so much. So you said that we need to understand the need. Why are we communicating with each other, right?
Yes.
What have you seen so far? How people communicate, like how
Well,
negatively they are communicating, how violently they are communicating.
yeah. I'm working also as a volunteer in a suicide hotline, and they are communicating very harsh with themselves. And people on the I have internet forums for girls with ADHD, and we call them troll here in Sweden. They are
Oh,
attacking each other
oh my
in the
goodness.
yeah, and it's always that they want to make their statement heard. It's always about their statement.
Right. They're not
So
willing to listen to the other people.
no. So if I'm posting something to try to get them think of another perspective, they tend to attack
Each other.
yeah,
Oh,
or me as a trying to get in a good feeling in the community.
okay.
They don't understand what I'm trying to do here.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
So they need to be understanding, and they need to listen to you so that they can make their lives better. We have another comment. Our regular viewer, our brother Waleed Ahmed Khan from Pakistan, is here saying most of the time people react only instead of response. Yes, that is true. Yes. So
Yes.
they
Reacting
saw a
negative.
message, and then they would react immediately to it, and instead of giving a peaceful response back to the
Right.
other party.
Yeah.
And then he's saying internal and external communication is important, and it is mandatory to learn these skills starting from the school levels. Exactly. Now he
Yes.
points out two things, very important things. Internal communication, that we talk to ourselves, that is a very, very important. So thank you so much, Mr. Walid, for pointing this out. Indeed, yes, absolutely. Internal communication is the number one. Until we communicate with each other peacefully, that's the thing. We communicate with ourselves peacefully, we cannot communicate to the others outside peacefully, right? So that means that there has to be peace inside us. What would you say, Jeanette, on that?
Yeah, it's so right on spot. And I had this beautiful conversation with a professor in Sweden who had a very famous study going on in Gotland, in an island outside Sweden. And I asked him how we can get through when we are trying to speak to a person who is in a very harsh mood, in a suicide position in life. And he said that was a very, very good question, because
Yeah,
that needs a very special kind of musician's
exactly.
way of, yeah. And
That,
it's all about listening
yes.
and trying to communicate self-love, compassion. Yeah, yeah.
That's right. That's good. And he's saying that it is important that the kids in the school should be taught these skills. So internal communication and external communication. What do you think?
That's very, very, very important to start early. Yes,
Exactly.
of
Thank you.
course.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next comment is from Akib Tibana, another brother viewer, saying Aijaz Qureshi Zindabad. Zindabad means, what do we say? Kind of a bravo, applause, and those kind of things. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. And also, I'm sorry. Yes, forgot Walid Bhai. He's saying in New York. Yes, correction. I stand corrected. Thank you. Malik Imran Khan saying hello, everybody. Hello, salams, and thank you so much for hopping on the show. Appreciate it. And Faisal Malik is with us, saying great discussion. Thank you so much. Every single person need to understand how to communicate non-violently, because we all communicate, I think, including me. I'm no exception. Sometimes I communicate violently, to be honest, and I would confess it here in public that I'm by no means I'm an exception. So I need to learn from Jeanette as well, that what is non-violent communication and how we can make our lives better. And so that's the thing. So thank you so much, Faisal Malik, for hopping on the show and joining. Lynn Chittick is with us. Lynn is Mama Lynn, and she's a great, great person. She's in United States, and saying so glad it's in English. Yes, most of my shows are in Urdu for the empowerment of Indo-Pak youth, and that's why I very seldom do shows in English, but I had to bring Jeanette on to understand what is nonviolent communication. So that's why we are doing this show in English. Thank you so much, Lynn, for hopping on the show. Appreciate it. And then Waleed Ahmad Khan is saying, generally, our childhood experiences and incidents, societal conditioning, upbringing, etc., develop our internal communication tape, which plays non-stop in our head for great of our lives. Exactly, exactly. He's right. Whatever, like in the past, like you faced lots of mental trauma at your childhood, right? You
Right.
saw parent separation, you had alcoholic mother that you had to deal with, and then you had a stepmom that you had to deal with, and when parents separate, there is on impact on parents, but there is a lot more impact on the children, right?
Yes.
And their
Right.
personality. So there's a lot going on in the mind. That is really really important to understand that these incidents, these societal conditioning, upbringing, etc. How can we stop that from replaying again and again and again into our heads? How can we move on?
Uh, yes, it's a very complicated way. I think you need. Uh, depends on how hard you think you have been hurt. I think you need to have a professional trainer with you, because you need to go from a bottom up approach. So you have to start to listen with interoception into your body and start to notice things that you in your childhood were you had to shut off to survive. You were in a surviving mode. So now you have to start relearning stuff, and you have to integrate trauma things in your nervous system. So that's why you need a professional trainer with you,
Right,
I think.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you so much for commenting on that. Len Chittig is saying we are all human. Yes, indeed. Absolutely, you're correct. And Envik is amazing. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Uh, Walid saying rest of our lives. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's what we were trying to say. Sailabas from Korea is saying great and interesting topic. Thank you, sir, for this. Thank you so much, Sahil, and appreciate it. And Faisal Malik is saying bring Lynn to show. Yes, definitely. Yeah, it has been long. That Lynn and I, we haven't done a live. Definitely, we'll do definitely a live. Thank you so much for your suggestion and recommendation. Waleed Ahmad Khan is saying it is also important to learn positive affirmations in your native language, that the one you grew up with. Yes, exactly. Um, so how do we affirm positively? That is important. So I think that is the topic itself, actually. That how do we reaffirm or affirm in a non-violent way, in a positive way? So that's the topic of the day. Thank you so much, and we'll listen to the Jeanette suggestions as well. Professor Dr. Anchal Arora is with us. She's a great, multifaceted personality. She is a professor of commerce. She's a yogi and instructor. She is a singer, artist, actor. I don't know. I mean, there are so many things she's doing. And she has a question: how to control extreme emotions. I mean, how to deal with extremities. Aijaz Qureshi can learn. So, so what would you say? How to deal with extreme emotions when people are drowned into their emotions? They have emotions, whatever they
Yeah.
are.
Good question. I always talk about this window of tolerance. So when you are in this fake window, you are calm and you have integrated brain. So this is your emotional brain and this is your thinking brain. So when you get upset, what happens with trauma, your brain goes like this. So you don't have this connection anymore. So you have to bring your brain down to protect your emotional state in your brain. And that you can do in your window of tolerance. So there are ways you have to practice when you're not upset. So you practice grounding techniques.
Right.
You have your breathing. You always breathe, right? But you don't notice your breathing. So you go into this mindful state and you practice every day for a couple of minutes breathing techniques. Because what's happening when you are breathing slowly through your nose, you are stimulating your vagus nerve, and that's the trauma nerve, the tense cranial nerve. So you have to uh, uh, get coherence with your heart and breathing, and that you do with the slow breathing with your nose.
Right.
And
Right.
and try to practice mindfulness, right? And
Yes. That's right.
self-compassion,
Yeah.
and talk to yourself with a very calm, warm, loving way.
True. True.
Acceptance.
True.
You are doing as good as you can, and you are lovable. You are needed as every else is.
Right.
Yeah. You have to
So,
make this a new voice in your head, speaking to
right.
yourself with calmness and warmth and
That's right.
loving.
That's
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for that answer. I'll add something to that, expand on what Jeanette just said. I think the extreme emotions come from lots of different things, and we are no exception. Everybody goes into those extreme emotions. The thing is, as Jeanette said, if you shallow breathe, you're breathing very shallow. So you're just like quick breathing, it does not provide enough oxygen to your brain to calm down. And what happens, the body, during those extreme emotions, the body is generating adrenaline and oxytocin and those kind of chemicals in your body, which are making you, hyper kind of thing. So to do that, my suggestion would be, in addition to what Jeanette said, would be to, of course, you will have to breathe deeply. So take a deep breath, as Jeanette suggested. But on the other hand, change your position. If you're sitting, lie down. If you're lying down, just stand up, walk, uh, take a frigid cold water, like cold water, so that you get calm. Those chemicals, they get diluted, and then your body will become more calm, no matter what it is. Or whatever attracts you, whatever drink you like to drink, go for that. And then change your position, change your scenery. So if you are confined in a room, get out or go to another room or go to a window or a terrace or balcony, and then stay there and look what is out there. So these things, I think, will help reduce the extreme emotions, and you will get back to your normal. When you get back to your normal, I think you can deal with your extreme emotions better. So thank you so much for your question. Moving on is Malik Imran Khan is saying, how much passive communication worthful to improve external and internal communication? Passive communication, that's very interesting. What would you say?
I didn't understand your question. I'm sorry.
So he's saying, Malik Imran Khan, you see the comment, Jeanette, on the screen, right? He's
No,
saying,
I'm too nearsighted, so that's why.
oh, I'm
How
sorry,
much?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Passive, he's
Okay.
talking about passive communication.
Yes, and that's very important too, because when you are in a high stressful mood, you can, because of this vagus nerve I talked about, you tend to miss. You think people look more angrier than they really are in life, or you hear the voices in a different um, tone, so you
Yeah,
tend to get into the argue much easier without any needs.
true.
Yeah, because the vagus nerve is going into your face and mix something up, in this kind of stressful tunnel you are in with when you're feeling anxiety and stressful, you know.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
yeah, so that's a way of so you have to talk to yourself in a calm way, and talk to there's no need to get upset, and what why am I feeling this way, and try to ask and put in words what your needs are. Well, I need to feel safe, and can you please in another way, or you can put your needs in words to the other person
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then you have to make other people understand what exactly you're looking for, what exactly you want to communicate. That is very, very important. So thank you so much for
Yes.
that answer. Lynn is saying Amen. Thank you so much, Lynn. And then somatic work, thank you so much. Professor Dr. Achal Arora is saying, Aijaz Qureshi, I'm so glad to hear Madame Jeanette Nord and Aijaz are both are visionary and intellectual people. Much love. Thank you so much. So nice of you. I remain humbled, and so is Jeanette. So thank you so much for that comment. Lynn is saying we all have experienced trauma. Absolutely, every single one of us, in a way or the other, we experience trauma. And may God be with us. Thank you so much, Lynn, for sharing that. Absolutely. Len is saying, my work in trauma has developed over years of understanding. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to understand what's going on around us. And I think the Torch organization that Lynn is heading, she conceived this idea and she's running that organization, which is really contributing a lot toward the humanity, towards the society to make it a better world. So thank you so much, Lynn, for that. And NVIC is so wonderful. Now, NVIC, I don't know this term. I haven't, pardon, please excuse me. I haven't really heard. Have you heard, Jeanette, this term NVIC? NVIC?
No.
No. So,
What? No,
yeah, I haven't heard either. So, Lynn, if you can please share us what does this abbreviation mean, and then we'll understand that better. Thank you so much. Then she's saying, thank you so much for bringing this on live. Thank you so much. I think this is the need. I think the topics that we discuss, Lynn, are a really, really important topic these days, especially these days when we have so much going on around us. And there is so much influence of social media on our life that is really taking us away from our traditional values, what values we had in the past, right? We waited for the letters to come in the mail, and that gave us so much pleasure when we opened those letters and we saw those when postman showed up at our doorstep and handed us the letters. Now it's just electronic world. Now we expect things happening like really quickly. Whatever we want, we just tell others to do, and then we expect the results right away. We are losing our temper, and you're very right. Thank you so much for commenting on that and appreciating our efforts. Thank you so much, Lynn. Lynn is saying resiliency is so important, and self-care. Yes, yes, absolutely it is. Agreed. Yes, thank you so much. Walid Khan is saying uh, breathing techniques, morning exercises, walking bare feet on grass, sharing hypnosis session help greatly. Volunteering for relief works also beneficial. Yes, absolutely. All these things are really, really important. We should do that. And I try to do these things as the time permits. And thank you so much. Anything you will add to this, Jeanette?
oh, there is so much to say about that, but it was very good comment there. So thank you.
Thank you. Professor Dr. Anshul Leroy is saying, gratitude, Jeanette Nord, ma'am, and Aijaz Qureshi, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're so nice. You're such a wonderful person. Len is saying, touching your body is important. Yes, you have to feel the body. Exactly. That's really, really right. Great. Walid Ahmed Khan is saying people are locked in their houses when they turn on air condition, boxed in a car, boxed in office. They don't get enough oxygen and sunlight. Absolutely, that's the unfortunate part of it. We have become so much dependent on these things that we are going away from the nature, right? Now these air conditions and things like that, and recirculated, recycled air that we breathe round the clock, be it in the office, be it in the malls, be it in home. We very seldom get the fresh air and the fresh oxygen, things like that. So you're right. Anything you want to add to this, Jeanette?
Well, nature is indeed very healing in itself, and we also need other people. Because I talk about the vagus nerve a lot, because that what it happens stuff when you interact with each other in a peaceful way. So that's very important. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Lynn just abbreviated that and said nonviolent communication. So thank you so much. So NVC is nonviolent communication. Thank you so much, Jeanette. Appreciate. Sorry, Lynn. Thank you so much. Then she's saying to get in the body as the spinal cord rises. Yes, we have to get. Absolutely, we have to get. We have to feel. And the yoga, I think the yoga, which one is that? I'm just trying to remember the yoga that gives us the awareness of our body. Um, I forgot the name of it.
Kundalini.
Yeah,
Kundalini.
there is a yoga when you lie down and then you feel every single part of your body, and then you appreciate, you know. So that's something that we should try really to appreciate how lucky we are to have such a wonderful body, and we should be grateful to the ultimate power. Thank you. Dr. Achal Arora is saying, overwhelmed with your answers, Aijaz Qureshi, sir, and Jeanette Nord, ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see that you liked the answers, and just try to use those and apply them in your life, and you'll be better. Walid Ahmed Khan is saying deficiencies in vitamin D is also a big factor in emotional and mental issues people are facing these days. What are your thoughts on that? Vitamin D, yes, because we are locked down under fluorescent lights and things like that. We don't see the sunlight, which is the gift of God, that you get vitamin D free of cost. You don't have to eat anything, you don't have to drink anything, and all you have to do is come out in the sun, and then your body will gain that vitamin D. What would you say? I mean, these I used to when I used to work on my workstation, I used to have an LED light that would emit the sunlight quality kind of thing that would give my body vitamin D. So, what would you say on that, Jeanette?
I think it's a great way to treat, for example, depression in a non-medical way, with medicine treatment. And we in Sweden, for example, we are a very dark period of every year. Half year we are in a very dark period with no sunshine when you go to work every day, and so then you can use this lamp. That's a great compliment. No, what do you call it?
Comment. Compliment, comment. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Complimentary treatment.
Okay, and Shekhani Salim is a wife of great singer Salim Khwaja, and she's saying Assalamu alaikum. Again, greetings. Walaikum salam. Be positive and always check your inner with positive people. Yes, 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 absolutely. You know, uh, the people around you, they impact you a lot, a lot. So if you are with negative people, you become negative. There is no doubt about that. Guaranteed you will become negative. If you are around positive people, you will become positive. You will think positive. You will talk positive. Absolutely, you're right. And she says, I always follow my mother's path to keep control my emotions in every sense with looking towards my Allah. Allah is God, and who is always with me. Yes, absolutely. The God is with all of us all the time. So thank you so much for that comment. Um, inner, check your inner with positive people. What would you say about that, Jeanette?
Check your inner, yeah, um, absolutely. And in, I think, mindfulness, yoga, meditation, there are lots of ways you can practice this. Uh, I think Daniel Siegel has a very good practice called the Wheel of Awareness that I can recommend you. Now for 1 year ahead, I'm going a course called a compassion course. It's on the internet, and it's a great way of learning nonviolent communication. That in start in the 80s, I think 70s, with uh, Marshall Rosenberg, who introduced this, and now it's Tom Bond who is doing this compassion course you can do, and you get an email every Wednesday for 1 year ahead. So then you can practice with yourself a
Awesome.
nonviolent communication method.
That's good. And on nonviolent communication method, Lynn Chittick has shared us a website. And there is, I did not know if there was a website. If I would have known this beforehand, I would have, taken some and things from there. But nonviolentcommunication.com is the website. So thank you so much, Lynn, for sharing that with our viewers. Appreciate it. Thank you. And Professor Dr. Achal Arora is saying the more directly we connect to our own needs, it is easier for others to respond to you compassionately, isn't it? Yes, absolutely. I would say yes. What do you say, Jeanette?
I'm a bit nearsighted,
Yeah,
so I
no, it's
can't
okay.
read the
So
question.
she's
So you
saying
have to.
the more directly we connect to our own needs. Like we
Yes.
have different needs, right? We have different desires. We need to be connected ourselves before we ask somebody else to connect to those needs of our
Yes.
desires,
Exactly.
right? And then we would understand easier, and we would find compassion in understanding our needs before we go to somebody else to help us in our needs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Right.
right.
Because speaking in a non-violent way, it means also that you have empathy,
Empathy,
compassion for
yes,
for
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 others.
another person's
That's right.
view. But
Yes,
if you don't have it for yourself, and if you're not aware of your own needs, then you have to start within yourself.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And then she's saying many of time people are not violent in their communication, but they are jealous. I face this situation almost every day. If out of jealousy, anyone is internally planning to harm you, but he or she is very calm on your face. How to deal with such type of implied communications? Implied communication. That's interesting.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's good.
people are very nice in front of you. They would say, "Oh, you look great, Jeanette. Your blue jacket is great, awesome," and things like that. But behind the scene, like they are jealous of you, right?
Yeah, yeah, but
How to deal with
that
these
doesn't
people?
matter. Yeah. that there are all kinds of people in the
Yes,
world, and if
yes,
you're stuck on noticing the bad in people, then it's what's coming to you.
coming
So
back to you.
it doesn't
Yes, yes,
coming, yeah, so drop it. It doesn't matter. Other people can think what they want. As you have to be secure in yourself, grounded in
true,
yourself,
true.
and let other people be.
That,
They can
that
be whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. So
that's right.
try to get your focus on another perspective. Yeah, a higher perspective.
That's great. That's great. Going back to the comments, so thank you so much for that comment. And then Lynn Chittick is sharing a book as well, Nonviolent Communication Language. Marshall Rosenberg has written. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Appreciate it. And you viewers will definitely benefit from these links, Lynn, that you have provided. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing this. She is such a wonderful person, really wonderful human being. And Waleed Ahmad Khan is saying from New York, jealousy, hatred, cynicism are negative energies. Absolutely. These are all negative that bring us down, actually, rather than bringing somebody else down, So you're very right. And then saying avoid such people who emit them, and try to detoxify yourself every now and then. Find a way to release this negative charge. Absolutely. And my yesterday's post, all you have seen that please emit positive vibes all the time, right? So that is something that is really, really important for all of us. What would you say about these jealousy and hatred and cynicism and negative energies being emitted from the body?
Did you want me to
Yeah, you
answer?
want to, yeah,
Okay.
do you want to share something on this point?
How to release it? I think bringing your attention, your focus inwards, and practice gratefulness, and what things in your life that to be grateful for, to shift focus, and that's the main advice I've got on that case.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so
So
much.
shift focus.
Shift focus. That's it. Exactly. Lynn has added another comment. I think it's another book. Body Keeps a Score: Healing Trauma.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
thank you so much. And
I feel great.
Waleed Khan is saying, our real communicative language is not the one we speak with sound. Yes, absolutely. Communication is not only sound. You're very right. It is the one we hear when we are silent. That's right. That's the communication that we hear, where we feel. Yes, you're right. That language needs to be tamed and controlled. Our communication to ourselves is telepathic. Yes, it controls our body, it controls our emotion, it controls our gestures, it controls what we put on paper or electronic media, whatever. So yes. Anything you want to add to this, Jeanette?
I thought for a moment about my dear dog. She's so beautiful because there's no complication there. She just is, and so if you have the opportunity to have a pet that brings you much love and compassion into your life, that's a great
Awesome. Thank you.
resource.
And yes, absolutely. Lynn is saying, very good. Thank you so much, Lynn. Appreciate it. And our piece, yes, our piece, exactly. You and I, both, all of us. And thank you so much. Haji Khan Farosh is with us. Haji Khan Farosh is a great person. And he rides bike to promote peace all the way from northern Pakistan all the way to the southern Pakistan. He rides on the bike to promote peace all over Pakistan and all over the world. He will be part of the Torch family as well, coming to US when Torch conference happens in the United States, organized by Lynn Chittick. So thank you so much, Haji Khan Farosh, and saying welcome to you, brother and sister. Yes, absolutely. And you will see him in Sweden someday on his bike. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, Professor Dr. Achal Arora is saying, awesome, wonderful. Thank you so much for your kind appreciation. Really appreciate it. Torch, Peace Ambassador Haji Khan Torch. Yes, absolutely, Peace Ambassador. I just mentioned it, Lynn. Thank you so much. Muhammad Ahmed is an environmentalist, and he is a speech language therapist doing lots of social work. He was guest on my show. We talked about autism awareness, and he's a great person spreading the knowledge about autism, why it is caused, what are the cures that we can do, and if somebody has it, what they should do to help them, you know. And he's saying, lovely show, thank you so much. And science will definitely explore hidden communication in nano world. Oh my goodness. Nano world is nanotechnology. Nano world is all, you know, it's a whole discussion. And, you know, one show will not be enough to talk about this nano thing. So thank you so much. Yes,
Mhm.
indeed. Anything you would like to add to this comment, Jeanette?
Uh, did you mean that is a synchronicity thing? Why
Synchronicity
didn't?
in
Yeah.
yeah, the science is exploring, like
Yeah.
there is a doctor neurologist in Calgary, Canada. He's from Pakistan originally. Naveed Ahmed, Dr. Naveed Ahmed. He has devised a nano chip that goes
Yes.
into the memory, and then it controls the body. It's pre-programmed and it is connected to our nerves. And he's doing wonders in this field. He's a neuroscientist, neuro
Wow.
doctor, neurologist. And so that nano world, nanotechnology is really becoming very powerful for mindfulness, for other, you know, things are shrinking. They don't have to be gigantic anymore because nano
No.
shrinks them and compresses them into small possible way to come together. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Rao Dilshad is saying, Assalamu alaikum. So again, greeting. Wa alaikum assalam, Aijaz Qureshi. Today I am late. What is the topic today? Here is the topic, sir. Topic is non-violent communication. So this is the topic we are talking, and our esteemed guest is Jeanette Nord, all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. We are connected from Canada, from Pakistan, US, Sweden, all the other countries, India, Far East. We are all here in this show together, and we are talking about non-violent communication, what it is, and we can um, how we can do that. Thank you so much. And Haji Khan Farosh is saying, thanks for your love, sir. Thank you so much. I love you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing. You're doing great work. Advocate Mohammed Al is the CEO of Islamabad Says, giving thumbs up. Thank you so much. Lynn Chitik is saying, love you, Aijaz. Love you, Lynn. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And so kind. And I'm so kind. Thank you so much. Love you. And I call her Mama Lynn. Yes, she's wonderful lady. That's right. Walid Ahmed Khan is adding, saying one of the best methods one can use to communicate with others is by dedicating day or two for listening others only. Over time, you will acquire this habit. Listen others to understand. Practice compassion. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let's get into the topic. What would you suggest? What would be your suggestions for non-violent communication? What should we do in our daily lives to avoid the non-violent communication, to avoid the violent communication and adopt to the non-violent communication?
As in all practices, you're always a beginner, right? So there are on the internet you can load down papers with emotions and needs, and start to looking at those. And when you're communicating, you are watching this paper with all the words on needs and emotions, and look at the papers and think for yourself, uh, where is my needs, and where is my, what do I feel, what kind of emotion does this bring up? So you start to bring this in focus. I think that's a great way of start.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we need to know our needs and emotions, and uh, it's really, You're very right. We need to understand that. Um, so, friends, we talked about if you like this show, please do comment and tell us how did you like this show. And I know that the time is about to end, and we have to end this show. It is so much a great discussion today that I really, really enjoyed talking to you. Everyone, thank you so much. Love you loads. Dr. Anchal Arora is saying, love you loads, both of you. Thank you so much for your love. Prayers for your well being and happiness always. And we do pray for your happiness as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, on behalf of Dreams Television, the Aijaz Qureshi Show, myself, my entire team behind this show, helping me to run this show, and all the viewers who have watched this show live and commented and asked questions or shared their comments, love and compassion, we thank you for your time today, Jeanette Nord. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed the show.
Thank you and thank you for your awesome audience. They are lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, viewers, that was Jeanette Nord, all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. And we will now conclude this episode of the show. And thank you so much. And Dr. Achal Arora is saying, definitely, I will share this outstanding and intelligent show to everyone. Thank you so much. And I always say, let me bring this to you. I always say that sharing is caring. Yes, if you care, then please do share. So thank you so much for that. And Mr. Walid Ahmed Khan from New York is saying, Ms. Janet, not many people are good at self-evaluation or analysis. Would you suggest any assessment tools? So I'm sure that Jeanette Nord is watching this, and she will definitely reply back. I'm sorry we had to let her go, but she will respond back through comments to your question. And if there are any self-assessment tools, she will put them on in a comment for you. Thank you so much. And Gafar Aji is saying, great. Thank you so much, Mr. Gafar. All right. Until next show with another great guest, I'm signing off. This is Aijaz Qureshi from Toronto, Canada. All the best.